All right, well, family. So my name is Dontavious Hill, three-time Team USA high jumper, and today I'm here with Coop, and his mom Beth. And yeah, Coop, let us know what grade you're in, what state you compete out of, and yeah, give us a quick intro.
I'm a senior in high school and go to Aberville High School. I'm in Alabama.
All right, and Beth.
I'm just mom, living here in Alabama, watching the dream.
All
Get
right.
ready to get him out of the house and on to college. Bigger things.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right. And Coop, this is a great day. I know you just came off of essentially, I think your outdoor season opener.
Hmm. Yes.
And you ended up starting the season off with a big jump. So tell us, you started, let us know what height you came in at and kind of where you finished in that first meet.
So that's gonna be a weird story. So the officials that were running the meet, the standards were messed up. So they were like, you have to jump 5'10", so it says you have like you showed up in the meet. They were like the bar can't raise, and I was like, all right, I'll just jump 5'10", so it says I did it. So I cleared 5'10", and then I went to 6 foot, and then I failed 6 foot twice. And then I went to 6'2", and then I failed 6'2" twice. And then I went to 6'4", and I failed 6'4" twice. And then I got 6'6" on my first jump. Then I got 6'8" on my first jump. And then I had some really good attempts with 6'10".
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. And I didn't even know that your competition kind of went up and down like that, you
Yeah,
know.
it was like everybody when they asked me like if I like oh like you jump really good, and I was like I really didn't.
From the stands, the parent we thought that they were going to end up shutting high jump down and just stop because after the bar was hit several times, it's like they could not get the standards to adjust. They brought another one out, and I thought this is not going to end well, but I mean, they eventually got it worked out.
Yeah, I actually had to help them like put the standard on like right. It was an event for sure, but yeah, when everybody like asked me like you jump really good, and I'll just be like, no, I did not really have that great of a jump day.
Right.
I jumped
Well,
it ended really good, but I jumped like 12 times. So I mean
after long jump and the 100.
yeah, so that's a lot of jumping for sure, but it ended out good. I don't really care how I jumped as long as I had the PR, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey man, as long as you got that PR, right? And then you got to take some good looks at 6'10" on top of that. And Beth, I know you said you were at the meeting, you thought they were gonna shut the event down.
Mhm.
And of course, Coop had a bit of a rocky competition, but ended on the PR. Tell me, what was your experience like kind of watching him, go out and finally get that bar, he's been wanting to get.
Yeah, so watching them try to adjust the standards and having such a struggle with that, and Cooper starting off slow, we're like, this isn't going to end well
Yeah.
for high jump today. But when he got 6'6", and I mean just easily cleared it, we felt much better. And then when he went up for 6'8" on his first attempt, it for us it was over. We're like, we're done. My husband and I, of course, we were screaming from the stands, but his 6'10", I mean, he attempted that three times, and on the third one, I mean, we were like, he has this, and just barely touched the bar. So knowing that he can even go further than that, he's just right there to set a new PR. It's exciting to watch.
Oh yeah. And it was great to hear and see like, Coop had just, recently came down for that training session not too long before that. I think it was like the week before or something
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
Like it was like a
And
right at like a week and a half before it.
Yeah.
yeah, and when I was out with Coop, I was like, man, that approach is looking good. He just looked better. And I'm like, man, dude, you've been really putting in the work. So I was just excited to see how he was going to jump off of it. And he went to practice that week. He ended up getting 6'10" with the bungee.
Right.
And yeah, I was just like, man, there's no telling what he's going to jump. And lo and behold, he went out there and he PR'd,
Hmm.
right? So I was just super happy. But I got it right here for us. Right. And we kind of get over the top of it here. Like we got some really good rotation. And we really clear this bar, with some room, but we just kind of come down on it because we stay over top for a long period of time. You see that, Coop?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Like you started here and you end, like you kind of get close to the end, like you're almost getting off the pit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you had the height over this bar, man. It was a really great jump, really great rotation. It looked so easy, right? And I know you dropped your basically, oh, this was the training session right here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, right here. And of course, we got the PRs on the wall checking them off, man. So I love to see,
Yeah.
right? So cool. I know like a while ago we talked about putting those PRs up on the wall, and I know it took a little bit of extra effort to go get them printed off, pick a color
Mhm.
for them and all that. But now since you finally checked one off, I guess what's that feeling like knowing that it actually happened?
Oh, it feels amazing. Like as soon as that video didn't even like show my reaction to like me jumping it. I felt so good about it. I jumped like up and down on the mat, and I just looked up to my parents in the stands, like threw my hands up. But marking it off, it's kind of like a relieving feeling because I've worked pretty hard on my approach for really since like November, like kind of early December, going like through indoor and having such a rocky indoor season and not jumping where I wanted to jump, and then like coming out and jumping outdoor with a PR. It was a really really big confidence boost, and it was just a really great feeling.
Oh yeah, and man, we got a lot more outdoor season to go, right?
Hmm.
And that's a great way to start it off. And pulling up here, we got Alabama outdoor rankings. You are number one in the
Hmm.
state, man. You are number one in the state, Cooper Scott. Okay, so that's really cool. And of course, that was a goal that we were shooting for, and we're
Hmm.
gonna hold on to this and even increase this, right? So, Beth, what are your thoughts when you're kind of seeing, okay, Cooper is the best in the state right now?
Well, of course, it's great, and we're proud of him. But it is a culmination of all the things that you've been working with him on. Um, you talk about mindset, and that's such a big part of high jump, I think. And just as what people would say is a simple thing is putting those goals on the wall and looking at it every day. And I've heard you mention, and Cooper talk about, I'm just looking at the bar and seeing yourself, visualizing yourself over it. I think oftentimes people overlook the importance of the mindset behind high jump, not just the physical ability. Um, and you talked beyond his just natural ability to be able to jump, but the technique behind it. And I think the approach really is the thing that he has worked the most on. Um, and like you said last week, when he came back, he had a great practice. And that 610, it just looked so smooth. So at the track meet the other day, when we got off to a rocky start, I was like, oh, well, it might not be his best. But once he got in the rhythm of it, it was just a long event that night in particular. The 6.8 looked effortless. Um, and if you slowed it down at the very end, you see how fast he jumped up. Just stay like, oh my gosh, I got over it.
Yeah.
And that's what we all felt. So we're just really proud of it.
Oh yeah, and I'm excited for you guys. Coop, that was a great opener, man, but we all know you got more in the tank. You know, even looking at, the 610 right here, really coming through, bringing some heat in this approach. We can't quite see the bar. We can see it a little bit right here, right, as we get over the top.
Hmm.
Just, it's like we just don't understand. Well, we don't know how high you're gonna go this season. And I know we got our goals. We got our 610 on the wall. That's going to be
Hmm.
awesome to get for the first time. Getting 7 feet. Of course, that's one of our benchmark goals of like we're a 7 footer. And yeah, man, just want you to understand that, you have the ability to do that, right? You have that ability and you're already a 7 foot jumper, essentially, right? You've been able to put up some really big jumps. Like you've been jumping big ever since indoor. We just weren't quite as comfortable in our approach.
Hmm.
But now you're starting to get it down and it's showing, Coop. So for you, what do you feel like is the main thing? I guess even before. indoor season started for you, what was the main thing you were trying to focus on working on?
I would say, um, like you would say, like not running the C and running the J.
Yeah.
So like prior years and kind of prior to meeting you, it was like I was just focused on like jumping as hard as I can every single time and getting over the bar and
Hmm.
not like running a smooth approach and having a smooth jump and having a smooth takeoff and then you're smoothly over the bar. I would my approach has definitely been um a key part in every single time I jump. I um there's been some days when it's not my jump day and I'll just go out there and I'll just do takeoffs. Like I'll just consistently do takeoffs from the same spot and if I have to move out like half an inch, I'll move out half an inch, or if I have to move back a little bit, I have to move back a little bit and just critique every little thing that, I've kind of learned from you and learning from you coaching all of us is, kind of like where you want to be, like your plant foot, where you want that to be when you jump. Um, the approach has been the biggest thing for me for sure. And I think working on the approach so much really helped my rotation because if you have the right approach, you're gonna get the right rotation.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Coop, we know that you're, a natural athlete, like really had a really good football season for the most part from your position, had a lot of interceptions. And now you're on the track, finishing up your senior year. We definitely, want to go nationals this year. You just got that qualifying mark in your first meet. So, for New Balance, you're locked in there, if that's something that you want to do.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask, your mom. So, Beth, of course, one thing that I tell the kids in Coop is that you're not going to be able to out jump, your technique, or you can't out jump the approach. Like in the past, he's kind of said he's relied on his jumping ability and things like that, but he kind of made it to a point where his approach needs to improve if he wants to go higher, right? And he's been able to do that. So tell me, what have you seen from him? I guess just in his work ethic or just him in his focus, to lead up to this point.
Well, that's a good word that you chose because I think focus has been the important thing. And talking to the college coaches that on the college visits that we've met, they've also talked about his speed. So combining those two and working on both because the speed will help the high jump. That's kind of been, I guess it's been reiterated to us. And so just really thinking through all the things that make a successful jump, it's not just one. Um, and he can't just rely on one, but he's really locked in and the focus is there to work on. And we can tell that he's been working on an approach in his practice. And then the PR, of course, we saw it. And
Oh yeah. And thank you for sharing, Beth. And Coop, one more for you and one more for your mom. So Coop, starting with you, man. I just want to know, like, if you had any advice, to high jumpers who are trying to get better, right? You know what it's like to feel like you're stuck at a height, feel like you can't get past a 6'4" or 6'6", and you've been able to get a breakthrough most recently. What advice would you have to high jumpers, who are in your grade, who are trying to be a number one jumper in the state, same as you are right now?
Mhm.
What advice would you have for them?
I would say have a strong mental. Uh in indoor, I had a really weak mindset because there was meets. My first meet, I opened up with 6'4". I was like, I mean, that's not bad. That's what I jumped last year. I mean, I'm at a good place. And then the next meet, I jumped 5'10". And I was like, it like kind of crushed my spirit. I was like, Dad, like I can't jump right now. But I would definitely say have a open mindset to it and have a strong mindset. Don't, break yourself down over, a bad month of jumping especially when you have such a long season ahead of you. And I would say if you're anything like me, work on your approach because it'll change your game. Work on your approach, and you can worry about the flop later. Like the approach is key to how I'm jumping so well now. I really feel like if everybody could change one thing, I would give them advice to change their approach.
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing, Coop. I know you touched on, the mental being a very important part of that. And of course, the approach is one of the main things you've had your big breakthrough on.
Hmm.
And Beth, one thing when I was out coaching Coop and another one of our athletes, I had to text Coop after, like, I was like, Coop, I wanted to focus on you too, but man, you were just jumping so good, there was not too much I could say. Right. But I didn't want him to think I was, neglecting him, but he was just hitting it like it was looking so good. I'm like, you're
Mhm.
good, you know. So, but and yeah, Beth, for you, I guess you seeing your son kind of grow, seeing him go through some of the struggles indoors, even him wanting to do better at state this indoor season, knowing that he's been a state champion in the past. Um, Tell me, what advice you would have for parents, supporting a young athlete who's trying to do good for themselves, from your perspective as a mom.
Um, I think just encouraging to stick it out because no matter what you're doing, whether it's high jump or a test or in life when you have a bad day at work, there's going to be days that you're not at your best. So those days where he didn't hit his PR or where he has accomplished before, even at state, um, look at what he's done now. His goal was to win state again, and he didn't, but he surpassed that with 6'8" and ranked first in the state now. So um, get up and try it again and keep working on the approach, keep working on the mindset, keep putting in the hours and the training, and do better next time.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing, Beth. That was very powerful. All right. So cool. Beth, it was great speaking with y'all today and looking forward to more of these, as he continues to win some big meets and whenever he gets that next PR, whether it be 6'10" or 7 feet. So I'll talk to y'all soon.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Thank
See you,
you.
coach.
Thank y'all.